Saturday on Denver 7 News. As victims of the Marshall Fire continue to rise from the ashes, the Phoenix Project is giving them any outdoor equipment they may have lost.
And then use Colorado and the beauty of Colorado to take advantage of that for their own mental health.
Tensions are escalating overseas.
If President Putin decides to take military action, we will swiftly impose severe economic sanctions.
What we can expect to hear from President Biden as he addresses Vladimir Putin about the increasing military presence in Ukraine. Back here at home, the Colorado Garden and Home Show starts today at the Convention Center. What's on deck with hundreds of vendors ready to go.
And it is a snowy start to your Saturday on the Front Range. Here's now a lookout from Lookout Mountain to check and see how things are shaping up. Your time is now 6:57. Katie, a slight warm up is on the way. Thank goodness for that.
Yes.
Good morning. I'm Micah Smith and welcome to Denver 7 News.
And I'm Katie LaSalle. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll get to the forecast in just a moment. But first, let's take a look at those roads from yesterday's snow.
Yeah, we'll go ahead and we'll try to bring that up and just there we go. And Katie, remind me, where is this?
This is I-70 if you're heading westbound. That's more traffic up the hill. We're starting to thaw out. Across town, though, we are waking up to some snow-packed, icy roadways, especially the spots that haven't been treated. Lane recognition an issue in some spots, so if you do need to be anywhere this morning, just take it slow because it is cold and slick. 16 degrees right now in Denver. Winds sustained from the southwest at 14 miles per hour. Here's a live look at Frisco this morning. The heaviest snow that we saw yesterday occurred just west of the metro area up through Genesee and Evergreen, around 4 to 8 inches over higher terrain, mainly around 2 to 3 here for much of the metro area. The skies are clear now. The snow has ended. It's cold outside this morning with temperatures only in the teens as well over Fort Collins and Greeley. Only at 8 in Colorado Springs, single digits and below zero readings into a lot of our mountain towns. So bundle up, layer up today. Later on this afternoon, though, we will start to see some melting here across the metro area. Noon will be at 37 degrees. Daytime highs expected to reach the low 40s right around 3 o'clock. Today is one of the coolest days on our 7-day forecast. We have a nice warm up in store for the rest of the weekend and through Valentine's Day. Your full forecast still to come.
All right, thank you, Katie. A mother says she's afraid to send her child back to school after a violent lunchroom attack. We're learning the fight broke out after someone walked onto school grounds and got inside through an open cafeteria door. Last Monday, Debbie Miller's son was assaulted at the Conservatory Green High School. Miller says the assault happened following a failed friendship and someone's relative came to the school seeking revenge. Denver police confirmed they responded to the school for the incident, and officers say a juvenile has now been arrested and charged with assault and disturbing the peace. Miller says she's glad charges have been filed, but feels the ordeal could have been prevented.
Why did a kid that does not go to this school able to cross that door into a school that I was hoping was going to be safe for my son?
In a statement, the district said in response to the incident, in part because this is an open campus, the doors to the cafeteria facility are not locked during lunchtime. Staff members are present to monitor the doors to the building.
Well, the need for teachers is still high in metro school districts. The Poudre Valley School District has more than 100 openings, so there is going to be a hiring event on Monday, February 21st for those interested. And the Boulder Valley School District is working to hire more teachers of color for their classrooms. There's a virtual hiring event today from 9 a.m. until 1 p.m. The district says they are committed to hiring diverse candidates who bring their own unique perspectives in order to elevate students' education. Registration is closed, but you can email recruitment@bvsd.org for more information.
Today is the first day you don't need to wear a mask indoors in Jefferson, Larimer, and Poudre counties. All 3 orders expired at midnight last night. State health officials and the CDC still recommending everyone wear a mask indoors regardless of vaccination status. And there's a COVID vaccine clinic later today aimed at helping those in the Hispanic and Latino community get vaccinated if they're interested. Organizers say this is a safe space, whether you're documented or not, to get your vaccines. The clinic is hosted by Centro Cristiano Amistad de Denver and is from 10 a.m. until 1 p.m. You can find it at the address on your screen below.
New this morning, Canadian police are now moving in to remove protesters at a bridge border crossing that's disrupted U.S.-Canada trade. This comes after police were given permission to take action from Canada's government yesterday, several days after truck drivers have been camping out protesting COVID mandates in the country.
will bolster Ukraine's ability to defend itself. We will reinforce our allies on the eastern flank of NATO.
A strong message from the Biden administration overnight as the State Department orders all non-emergency U.S. employees at the Kyiv embassy to leave. And as the White House urges Americans to leave Ukraine because national security advisors are warning Russia could invade before the end of the Winter Games in China.
We obviously cannot predict the future. We don't know exactly what is going to happen. But the risk is now high enough, and the threat is now immediate enough, that this is what prudence demands.
The White House says President Biden will speak with Russian President Vladimir Putin by phone this morning. Russia has been amassing troops on its border with Ukraine for weeks, creating fears of an invasion. The White House says if Russia invades, it will be hit with crippling economic sanctions, not just from the U.S., but also our European allies. And here's ABC's Ty Hernandez with the latest from New York.
President Joe Biden is set to talk with Russian President Vladimir Putin today as the situation over Ukraine grows more urgent. That's after Russia and Ukraine failed to come to any agreement during 9 hours of negotiation. Now, this warning from the National Security Advisor that Russia could invade Ukraine in just days.
Credible prospect that a Russian military action would take place even before the end of the Olympics.
The Biden administration says the U.S. has not concluded that Putin has made a final decision to invade Ukraine. But the U.S. is joining a growing number of countries, advising its citizens to leave Ukraine as soon as possible. Among those urged to leave is 25-year-old Aaron Starr, who's a teacher in Kiev and has a girlfriend there. He says he won't leave just yet.
It's hard to leave your life. Like, obviously if there's an actual war, I'll leave, okay? I'm not gonna live in a war zone. But in advance of that, it's hard to leave.
Though the Kremlin continues to deny it has plans to invade and is accusing the U.S. of conspiracy to, quote, whip up tensions, Russia is conducting massive military drills in Ukraine's northern neighbor of Belarus and in the Black Sea. With more than 100,000 Russian troops near Ukraine's borders, military analysts warn Moscow has now built up enough equipment and vehicles for a major attack.
We continue to see very troubling signs of Russian escalation, including new forces arriving at the Ukrainian border.
The U.S. sent 90 tons of military aid to Ukraine. 3,000 more soldiers from the 82nd Airborne Division are heading from Fort Bragg to Poland. American fighter jets and naval destroyers are also on their way to Eastern European NATO countries. Ty Hernandez, ABC News, New York.
And back here in the Metro, we are now getting a look at police body camera video showing the arrest of Mesa County Clerk Tina Peters. Peters was detained on Tuesday by Grand Junction police who had a search warrant to seize an iPad Peters is accused of using to illegally record a courtroom hearing. Body cam video shows police putting Peters into handcuffs before she appears to try and kick one of the officers.
Let go of me! Give me my
Do not kick!
Oh.
You understand?
Peters has since been charged with obstructing a peace officer. She turned herself in Thursday and quickly bonded out. Well, Tina Peters has gained notoriety as the vocal denier, one of them, of the 2020 presidential election results. Those debunked conspiracy theories have led to violent threats against election officials, including Colorado Secretary of State Jena Griswold. Griswold is now asking the legislature for $120,000 to increase her personal security.
No elected officials should be threatened for doing their job. But we're seeing the threat of violence being used as an attack on democracy.
Griswold tells us she's also planning to propose legislation that would close a legislative loophole that she says prevents her from requesting state patrol coverage.
More than 1,000 wildfire victims have signed up for a special distribution event today. A coalition of more than 40 brands, businesses, and organizations called the Phoenix Project has been donating new items. Wildfire victims will be able to shop for free at the Black Lab warehouse.
What we're really hoping is that people will take this time to get maybe a new jacket, new hiking shoes, and then use Colorado and the beauty of Colorado to take advantage of that for their own mental health, their physical health, to get back out into the outdoors.
Cool sent a ton of apparel. La Sportiva, just down the road from us here. We've got Volcom, Under Armour, Adidas 510. Like I said, I could probably go on. Spider, Volcom, you know, everybody kind of came out of the.
Just got 20 boxes from Burton. So
Yep.
It's just been amazing.
Organizers say they received an overwhelming response, so signups are full, but you can check Phoenix Project on Eventbrite to see if any spots open up. People are expected to show up to start shopping around 9 this morning.
Well, Boulder County is promising to start removing Marshall Fire debris by March 1st. The county selected DRC Emergency Services as the contractor. About 800 homeowners opted into the program. Boulder County will pay for the removal and is eligible for a FEMA reimbursement of up to 75%. Some estimate it could cost as much as $100 million.
After the snow clears out this weekend, Boulder County will begin spraying mulch on the properties destroyed by the Marshall Fire. This will prevent potential toxins in the ash and debris from being picked up by the wind. The county also hopes to wrap up curbside collection of damaged items by the end of next week. After that, debris removal from the more than 1,000 homes that were destroyed can begin.
If you have an active warrant in Arapahoe County, you could get a second chance today. Details on the warrant clearance event happening later this morning.
And the Colorado Garden and Home Show is back. What you can expect for the next week as vendors help you fix up your home and backyard.